All right, welcome back to the garage. Before we get to work today, I want to give a quick shout out to some fellow YouTubers. There's Brian at Arrowhead Garage, Louie at First Generation Garage, and John from VVG Restoration Station. Those guys are all first-gen Firebird aficionados, and they've got a lot of really good videos on building these cars, restoring these cars, and making them awesome again. And they get together and do a weekly live stream called Friday Night Wrenchin'. And on January 30th, they had me on there. And I got to talk about my project a little bit, talk about their projects. There was also some trivia and just some general good times. Anyway, I'm going to leave links to their channels down below, as well as that Friday Night Wrenchin' episode. And go check those guys out. They're awesome. Thanks. All right, let's get to work. I picked up an EFI fuel tank kit from Phytech. It comes with this really nice Tanks Inc. tank with the notched corners. It's got a baffle in it to keep the fuel from sloshing around, starving the pump. It also comes with the straps, the sending unit, the tank top, and the fuel pump here. Now then, I want to be able to access the top of the tank without having to drop it. That way, if I ever need to work on the pump or do anything, I can do that. So I need to make an access panel, an access hatch for the trunk of this thing. My plan is to take a 1 inch wide, 3/16 thick steel and make a frame, kind of like this, and then have just a solid steel piece that goes over the top of it and then secure it with 1/4 inch hardware. So I'll be drilling and tapping this to fit this. Now then, I cut this cardboard here about the shape that I think I like it. The inside here is 5 inches by 11 inches, and we can see that it fits quite nicely over this area here. What I need to do is figure out where that needs to go in the trunk floor. And to do that, what I want to do is position this on the tank where I will like it, tape it into place, fit the tank up underneath the car, and then mark the corners so that I have reference points that I can then transfer to the inside of the trunk floor and know where I need to cut it out. It's going to be really important that I get this little frame exactly where I want it so that I can get wrenches on these fittings here. So I went ahead and took that hat and turned it upside down, screwed it into place, put some fittings on it just to see where this is going to sit. And I think I like it like that. So let's give that a try. One of the benefits of the air ride is helps get the tank in and out a lot easier by yourself. Okay, we're under the car now. I've got the tank bolted up there about where it's going to go. You can see here's my template here. I think if I make this frame 1 inch longer this way, then I can bring it up to where this trunk floor bends over, goes that way. I don't know if you can see, but it kind of slopes down, then it makes a bend and goes flat that way. So make it 1 inch longer and butt it up right against there, and I think it's going to be great. Let's take a look at the top side. Okay, here's what it's going to look like from inside the trunk. I've got a piece of flat steel there just to show kind of where that's going to start. And then I made another frame. This one's 1 inch longer than the previous one, and it should sit just about like that. I think we can go ahead and start cutting up some metal and making that frame. Okay, I got my pieces all cut here. I beveled the edge on this guy so that it'll sit up there and have a nice spot for the weld to lay in. We can pull out the welder and zap this together. All right, just like that, I got the frame made. It's looking pretty good. I like it. It's nice and square and straight. It looks good. Now I can cut the panel. This is 18 gauge steel. Just gonna go around it with a zip cut and cut her off there. Okay, I've got the panel cut here. It's fitting up real good. Now I can go ahead and drill and tap that frame and drill this guy out. I figure I'll just need a screw in each corner and then probably one in the middle here, and here should do the trick. This panel doesn't need to come off too often, so let's do that. Okay, I got the holes drilled, then I went over them with this deburring tool to chamfer the edges a little bit. That should help the tap start in nice and straight and work better. So let's get these tapped up. Okay, got the holes all tapped. I also drilled holes in the cover here. Let's throw the hardware on there and see how it looks. There it is with the hardware on there, all screwed on. It looks good. I like it. I can shorten these bolts whenever I need to. Whenever I do final fitment, I'll probably put some sort of gasket or seal in here just to keep it nice and airtight. Let's go figure out where it's going to live back there. I want to give a quick thank you to my buddy Rob for letting me borrow his tap and die set. This is a Drillco cutting tools kit, and it's really nice. It's got all the things, the taps and the dies and stuff. Works really well. He's also got this little set here of taps and dies that he let me use. I used the number 7 bit and the 1/4 inch by 20 tap, that guy right there, to do these holes, and it worked out really well. Thanks, Rob. Okay, I've got it lined up in the trunk here about where I think I like it. What I'm going to do is take a cutoff wheel here and just make a cut right at the front of that right there, and then I can go underneath and see from underneath if that's where I want everything to sit. And yeah, let's go from there. Okay, here's the view from underneath, and you can see where I made that cut. It's not quite an inch forward, but I think I like it. Here's a piece of angle iron set up in here to show you kind of where that opening is going to sit. So it's going to be forward just about an inch. So I like it. I can drop this tank back out of here and get to cutting. Okay, tank's out of the way. Now, before I go in here and just cut a big hole and make a big mess, I want to think about this, because this floor section comes up here, dips down there and there. But the sections in between here and out here are flat on both sides. That and that. So I think if I cut along the outside of this guy and try and flush mount it to any of this, I'm going to cause problems. But if I take out this hump here and lay this piece just directly on top of this, I can lap weld that, and then I only have these sections here to fill in. I can kind of do the same thing on the front as well and just have those sections there to fill in, cut it along the inside, all around the inside, and then just cut it on the outside right here where this hump is. This part will be flush with that, and this will be flat with that. So I think that's going to work the best. I deliberately made this wide enough so that I could do that, so that the inside edge of the doorway is flush with the floor piece, and I don't have to deal with these profiles there. So let's pull this out of here, mark, and see what we get. Okay, I cut the hump off in the front and in the back here, and I laid this in here. It's sitting in there nice and flush. It's pretty good. I also went ahead and drilled through and bolted it to the floor, so it's pulled up nice and tight. Now I can come in here and cut the inside of this out and move on. And just like that, I get a big freaking hole in the floor. I've got it bolted up. I turned those bolts around so they're sticking up this way as opposed to down. Now I can test fit the tank one more time, just make sure that I've got this thing where I want it, and I'm not going to change my mind. All right, tank's in there. This is looking real good. I'm real happy with this. I'm glad I made it that extra inch. It looks like a lot of room, but if you subtract an inch from that, it's a lot less room. So if you got an extra inch, use it. All right, now that I'm happy with the way this is fitting in here and it's all working well together, I want to come in here and massage the contours out of this so that it comes up flush to the bottom of that piece there. Same thing in the front here in those two areas. And I figure that's going to be a lot easier to do whenever this thing's on the rotisserie. And since I've got a bunch of work that I need to do anyway, let's go ahead and pull that front sheet metal off and pull the subframe and put this rotisserie back underneath it, and then we can carry on. All right, now that I've got the fenders off this and the header panel, I can go ahead and pull the radiator support off. I'll leave this bracketry and the hood latch on here because it doesn't need to go anywhere. I also need to take off these inner fender brackets there and remove the brake lines there, and there, and detach from down here. And then I can use the air suspension to lower the subframe down, lower the whole car down onto these jack stands, then unbolt the subframe and pull it off out of the way. Let's get cracking with that. Okay, all the front stuff is unhooked. I also went ahead and pulled off this whole brake line that goes to the back here. I don't want it getting schmucked. Let's lower it down and see if it'll sit on these jack stands. I've also got blocking here to catch the subframe whenever it comes off there. Let's lower it down. Okay, so the body's sitting on the jack stands. The front subframe is sitting on the blocking there, and the blocking here. I've taken all the bolts out of it, so it's sitting there loose. What I should be able to do is let the air completely out of the front suspension. That'll lower it down, and it should clear all of this stuff. Yeah, with the suspension aired all the way out, these brake lines come down far enough. They clear everything, and I should be able to just roll this out of here with one hand if I'm gingerly with it. Just like that, easy peasy. All right, subframe's gonna sit right over here for a minute. I've got the front supported by the rotisserie in the front. I've got the fenders lashed together and over there out of the way. Now I can pull this rear end off here. If you noticed, I've already got the shock waves off. Now I can go ahead and unbolt the 4-link. Do the upper bars first there, and then do the lower bars. I'm tempted to drop this down and see how, get it a little closer to the ground. Yeah, that's way better. I dropped down the cribbing there and there. Now I can pull those top 2 link bars off there and yank this thing out of here. Just drop the lower link bars here on the front, both sides. Should be able to just roll this thing right out of here. Let's give it a try. Okay, I got the rear end over here out of the way, and I've got the car up on the rotisserie, turned over on her side. Now we can get back to work on addressing these profiles here, getting those smoothed out and lined up, and figuring out how I want that attached. And here's how it looks from the bottom side. I think the first order of business here will be to unbolt this thing and then start cutting these humps here out. I want to smooth those out. See if you can see the profile there. Smooth those out, make those look good, and then I can work on the back ones, make those look good. Okay, here's how it's looking. I went around this with a Sharpie to show where it starts curving out. All I did was cut it along the sides here and then use a hammer and dolly and dolly that pretty flat there. If we take a look at the lower one, I haven't done it yet, but it's going to look good. And then as well on the back side here for these, all I did was cut the hump here, slice that down, and then I can use a hammer and dolly that flat. If we take a look at the other side of it, we'll see once I get this welded up, I don't think you'll be able to tell that it wasn't like that from the factory. So I'm going to keep on trucking on this. Now, after I cut it and I start beating on it with the hammer, this flattens out and it stretches out and closes up the gap there. And all I got to do is come in and just recut that, and then I can flatten it out some more and make it look good. So let's keep trucking. Okay, I've got all my trunk floor pieces here flattened out, and I'm happy with them, the way they're sitting. Whenever I originally started doing this, my plan was to weld it along the inside here, but you come up here and it gets difficult to do that, and I don't think it's going to look right or work right. So I think I want to cut it around the outside and weld it along there. Now, I don't have to cut out the hole first because I can tack it and then use the air saw and cut this off and then tack it as I go, and that'll keep it exactly where I want it to be without having to try and fit it into a hole there. I've scribed along the side here. I just need to make a small incision there and there. Pull this guy off. I also want to round the corners on the frame and the lid a little bit so that it looks a little more professional. A little quality time with the bench grinder, and I can make these pointy corners into roundy corners, make it look really nice. Okay, I've got all the metal cleaned up and got it bolted in here for the last time. Let's bust out the welder. We can start tacking it into place. I cut a couple windows, one here and one up there, so I can throw a tack in there and then use the air saw and cut it out and kind of tack as I go. Okay, a quick update. I'm getting this welded up in here. It's looking real good. I'm not a great welder, but I'm making it work. And yeah, I can clamp it into place and then take the air saw from the other side and cut right along the edge of it. And then whenever I take that piece off, I've got this perfect little gap to weld right there. So I can do that. I'll show you real quick what the other side's looking like. I can what I can do is throw a couple tacks in here and hold it into place and even hammer on it and get it really smoothed out exactly where I want it. I'll show you the other side real quick. Had a few spots where I burned through the metal, burned through the trunk floor. Jesus. Okay, where I burned through the trunk floor here and there. I'll have to touch those up, but I'll throw some welds along here as well, clean all that up. But once I get it seam sealed and painted, I don't think you'll ever notice how bad it looks right now. So anyway, keep on trucking. I'm just about done welding this up. I started on the back side, did this around here, around there, and then I cut the front. The front is actually in line with the top of this thing. You know, this area back here is in line with the bottom of it. That's in line with the top. This right here is in line with the top. It was oil canning in this area real bad, so I cut it, and I can weld that up. It's looking pretty good. Just a little bit left to go. Then I can do some touch up on the other side and be done with this. Okay, after some time welding and grinding, I think I'm about done with this. It's looking pretty good. I'm real happy with it. It's fitting in here real nice. Welded up that little C-section scar there. Got to do a couple little welds inside there. If we come around to this side of it, you can see where I've got pinholes with the light shining through the other side. There's one. There's a small one right there somewhere. Anyway, weld this up and be done with it. Actually, while I've got the lid bolted on here, I went ahead and threaded nuts on here, and I can take a cutoff wheel and cut off these Allen head cap screws, and they'll all be the same length. They'll all stick through 3/16 of an inch. I'll probably change that out for different hardware later, but for now, let's do it. Pro tip for you, if you're cutting a bolt or a piece of all thread, thread a nut on it first. That'll help you keep your blade straight whenever you're cutting it, and then as well, whenever you're done cutting it and you take the nut off, it helps to straighten the threads out where they might be bunged up a little bit. Anyway, hope that helps. Okay, and there's the finished product. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but once you get some paint and seam sealer and carpet over the top of that, you won't even know it's there until you need it, and then you'll be glad it is there. I shortened these bolts, rounded the ends of them so they thread in real nice. I've got this all done up. I'm going to end this video right here. Hopefully this works out really well, and hopefully you liked my process. Anyway, thanks a bunch for watching. We'll catch you next time.